Now I'm talking free here, folks. Free apps and software and tools for MCs, speakers and entertainers to help you do your job better and to build your business. You see, free is my favorite price point, but you will be amazed at how many great products there are at that price. Tools for graphic design, stock photos, video editing, photo editing, mail list software, audio enhancement, and the tool that helped me build this channel to over 28,000 subscribers. Now, being an MC, a speaker, or an entertainment can be quite tough going to start with. There won't be a lot of money coming in for a while till you get yourself established. So that's why these tools are so important. Now, I'm not giving tutorials here or step-by-step guides on how to use each of these tools, but if you'd like one, leave a comment in the description below and perhaps we might find time to do it in the future. I just want you to be aware of them and give you my #1 recommendation for each of the categories. And in some cases, I'll give you my second choice as well. Now, there are links to all of these products in the description below. Sounds good? Well, let's get on with it. Category #1 is mail list software. You know, I always encourage people to build a mail list as soon as they possibly can. Now, there's a good reason for this. You see, you can have a great following on social media or Instagram or Facebook or YouTube or TikTok, but that could all change in a flash. It happens all the time. People get locked out, they get hacked, or they break some obscure rule and get their account suspended. Having a mail list software is an alternative way of keeping in touch and engaged with your followers. Now, I've used all the big name services at some time in my career, like ActiveCampaign or MailChimp and a few others, but I'm currently using MailerLite. Now, while it's not quite as powerful as some of the others, it doesn't have some of the bells and whistles that they do. It does have a free plan. Now, I believe it lets you use up to 1,000 contacts. And for many of us, that is all you need. You see, having a small focused list that is engaged with you is far, far better than having a huge, expensive list where people are maybe not so engaged, but you just keep those contacts in there. For instance, if you were an entertainer and you had a list of shopping centres that you would like to work at, or kindergartens or schools, that may well be a manageable number. For a MC, you might have a list of associations or clubs that you like to work in, and same again. Or for a speaker, you might have some industries that you work and contacts within those. For instance, franchise, automotive, insurance, something like that. Now, you can obviously scale up at some point once things start working for you and build a larger list. But by then, you'll be an expert at using the software. Now, it's all online. You do it online. You don't download anything. And you can create fantastic emails. You can make forms to collect names and email addresses. You can have clever automations. And this is all for free with that plan. I use it, and you should be using it too. Why don't you check it out? The details are below. My next category is royalty-free photography. Photographs that you can use in your websites and brochures, on Instagram postings and Facebook, making memes, etc. Now, there are a multitude of services that sell or give away royalty-free photographs, but they fall into two camps. They're either really good but really expensive, or they're very cheap or free, but they're not very good. But I've found that Unsplash falls somewhere in the middle, and it is my recommendation for you. Now, Unsplash doesn't have a huge number of photos, but the photos they have there are really, really good, unlike some of the other places you can download free photos. And there's a reason for this. A lot of professional photographers use Unsplash as a catalogue or a portfolio, and they put up some of their best work, and it's free to download. So they are hoping people will buy their services at some later date. So you can use these photos in websites and Insta posts, YouTube, and a brochure, PowerPoint presentation, etc. So look, they're free to use, free for commercial use as well. And you don't even need to ask permission. You can download it in one hit. Now, have a look at some of these. These will just be on the website. This is on the front page of the website there. Or we could go to a particular category. You can go into the search bar. We could search up, say, chess images if you were speaking about chess or doing an article about chess strategies or something like that. And look at some of these. Fantastic. Or what about if you had a yoga business, or you talked about yoga, you lectured on a yoga, or you, as you can see, fantastic images that you could use. So that's Unsplash. As I say, free to use, it's fantastic. The alternate one, number 2, would be Pixabay. Very similar, but I don't think their photos are quite as good as Unsplash. Tool number 3 is a YouTube tool. Are you interested in growing a YouTube channel? You know, it's a great way to build a business or build your profile or build a following. I use it obviously to boost my MC business for myself, working out there in the world, and also to run the ExpertMC website and this channel, encouraging people to become better MCs, build an MC business if they wish to. Now, YouTube is a sprawling, complicated place, so it's useful to have a couple of tools, and the tool that I recommend is TubeBuddy. Now, I have the paid version. I pay only $3 or $4, I think it is, a month for that, but there is a free version, and it's got some pretty nifty tools at that free level. Some of the nifty features include insights into what people are searching for, what people are commenting on, and some channel analytics. You also get a mobile app, so you can look on your phone. And two of the best ones, best time to publish. So it looks at when your followers are actually online and looking at YouTube, and you can hit them at the right moment. And also suggested shorts. It looks at your longer videos and says, why don't you use that little 10 seconds as a little short clip. Now, it works as a browser extension. I usually use Chrome, and it just sits in there until you pop onto YouTube, and then it will start giving you extra information. So you can install it for free. So why don't you see the link in the description below? I use it. I think you should use it too, and you can thank me later. Category number 4 is image manipulation. Now, the heavy hitter in this category, of course, is Photoshop. This came out in '87, I think it was, and was then subsequently sold to Adobe, and it became part of their suite of products. I think I got my first one, which was Photoshop 3, in the mid-90s. They just introduced layers. Now, Adobe products are fairly expensive, and I got mine bundled actually. I didn't buy it. It was bundled in with a large scanner that I bought. But Photoshop is fairly expensive, and that rules it out for this little list. But I've got a great alternative. So I'm suggesting you check out this one, Photopea, or Photopea, or even Photopea. I'm not sure quite how they pronounce it, but it's almost identical to Photoshop. And if you have a look at the menu, you can see how similar it is. It's got the layers, it's got brushes and fonts and tools and controls, and it's a wonderful thing. Now, you use it online. You don't download a huge program to actually do this, and then you work online and then download your finished product in the format that you like. I'll put a link to it in the description below. It's a winner. Category number 5 is video editing. Once again, this field is dominated by some heavy hitters, Final Cut Pro and Premiere, amongst others. Now, some of these programs cost thousands of dollars. Others have expensive subscription models where you will have to pay hundreds of dollars each and every year. Now, for many years, I used Camtasia, and I still think it's an excellent product, especially if you're putting PowerPoint slide decks together as well as doing some video editing. But about a year ago, I switched to using DaVinci Resolve. You know, it's totally amazing and it's totally free. Well, there is a paid version. You can upgrade to the Studio, DaVinci Resolve Studio. It costs a few extra $100, but really the free version is all you could ever need, and you probably won't even use all the features in that. This is professional level software, and it's used by some of the biggest production studios around the world, from Hollywood to Bollywood. And you may be asking, why is it free then? Well, the designers of the software, Blackmagic Design, also sell very expensive movie cameras and editing consoles and switching devices. That's their main game. This is just a kind of a bonus to make people aware of the program. Now, warning, there is a little bit of a steep learning curve, to say the least. But there's some excellent tutorials, official tutorials, that you can download the instructions and the files, and you put things together and you quickly learn like that. There's also a thriving community on YouTube and in other places will help you out and teach you as you go. That's my number one recommendation. Alternative, a slightly newer program is called CapCut. I have played around with it. I'm not a total fan of it yet, but a lot of people think it is so amazing. So that may be worth checking out as well. Category number 6 is audio enhancement. This is useful for making audio books, voiceovers, podcasts, interviews, narrations, pre-recorded introductions, and I highly recommend Audacity. Now, Audacity is totally free. It's been around for quite a while, and you'll find if you do have a look at it that it's like stepping back into an earlier internet age. The controls and the interface are a little bit clunky, but it does exactly what it says on the box. It will manipulate audio files, and you can cut and paste and put filters on and make the levels match and all sorts of things. There are plenty of help files. And there's also a thriving community, and there's a multitude of tutorials on YouTube about how to use Audacity. It is really used worldwide. I've used it a lot myself. I've put several audio training courses together for listenable.com, and I've used it to record voiceovers and a couple of interviews at some point. So check it out if you want to play with audio. Now, before I give you category number 7, if you had any value out of this video, would you please help us out and click the like button? Or if you are a speaker or an MC or an entertainer, why don't you join us by subscribing? We publish usually once a week. Or you can visit our website where we have 3 free ebooks to download, a whole lot of articles, and of course, links to our 70 videos. Category number 7 is design software. This is something that you can use for invitations and flyers and postcards and brochures and Instagram, YouTube, thumbnails, etc. I'll cut straight to the chase. My number one recommendation is still Canva. Canva is an Australian success story. In fact, they're based in Surrey Hills in Sydney, right where I used to live for many, many years. It is an online service, so you don't download the software, you just use it for free on their website and then download the finished product at the end. I probably use it every single day, and I'm sure most of you are actually aware of Canva, but there's something that a lot of people miss out on Canva, and that's why it's still my number one recommendation, and that is the apps section. You'll find this in the left-hand toolbar, and it opens up a whole new world of different things that you can use Canva for. I particularly liked and found very useful the QR code generator, and it makes QR codes very, very quickly and far more efficiently than some of the other services out there in the internet. You can record the screen, you can do product mock-ups, you can do flip books, and you can animate photos and all sorts of different things. So if you've never played with Canva, please dive in deep and you will love it. And if you do use Canva at a certain level, yes, check out the apps section, because that's my recommendation for a whole new world. Now, there is a paid level. I don't personally use the paid level, so it is totally free, and that's why it is my number one choice. But I will say this, there is one thing I wish it had in the free level, and that is the ability to remove backgrounds. If you're on the paid level, it's got that tool, but it doesn't have it on the free level. So my number two choice is Adobe Express. Adobe Express is part of the Adobe suite, but it's actually a free little sampler program. It's very, very good, and I use it quite a lot, but it does have that remove background tool. So I'm giving it my number two. Hey, thanks for watching. There's another video coming up right now. I will do this list again in 6 months or a year's time and see if anything has changed. I'm sure it has.